Well, it seems like 2026 is off to a hot start. Ever since late December, prices for PC components have been substantially increasing, majorly VRAM, and this is due to the increase of use in AI in every industry. But since I majorly cover gaming topics and news, this boom in AI use has had an effect on us gamers majorly. Because, as I keep repeating, it is the worst time to get into either building a PC or a new rig, or even upgrading your current rig at the moment, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like this will get any better. In fact, I think it's going to get a little bit worse. Actually, a lot worse, but I'm just trying to be a little optimistic here. So, let's talk about Nvidia and AMD, mainly Nvidia. And if you have a PC, odds are you use one of these companies' GPUs in your rig, and the price for these latest GPUs has increased. Once again, mainly on the Nvidia side, AMD has seen an increase in the retailer price, but not as big of a jump as Nvidia is. Because now, the 5090 RTX from Nvidia is being sold for up to as much as $5,000 in some retailers. And in this article you're seeing on your screen, you see that the Best Buy, a major retailer, is selling it for over $3,500, which is insane, and I can only imagine what private resellers on eBay and other websites are selling it for. Because if a major retailer like Best Buy is pricing this GPU so damn high, well, granted, the actual Nvidia website is still selling the 590 Founders Edition for its original $1,999, which is still a staggering amount if you ask me, but good luck for actually trying to get it around that price, because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Nvidia decides to increase this price on their website in the near future as well. And this is the main problem with a lot of tech right now, and it is being marketed not for the use of the individual anymore. No, now it's actually being used to get companies, because ever since this increase of AI across a lot of different industries, that has become their new target. The companies that need to increase their hardware to keep up with these AI demands and trends, that is what we're seeing with all these tech companies and their insane increasing in pricing. It's due to the fact that they're trying to capitalize that most of these companies are going to pay top dollar for upgrades on their hardware to use, while us PC gamers are left with the brunt of this price hike. I mean, we're in such a shitty timeline right now, and this is such a shitty feeling, because it's like, what can we really do? Because we can't really boycott any of these companies, and we can't buy any other product, because AMD isn't far off either, and Nvidia is the major selling GPU company, and there aren't really much options aside from those two, especially when it comes to high-end GPUs outside of these two companies. So unfortunately, it's not the same as like a console price hike or anything. For example, like when Microsoft increased its console prices, and when they increased the price of Game Pass, you could easily have other options. You could go other places, and you could say like, well, we don't really need Microsoft. I have a PlayStation, or I have PC and Steam. So it was easy to kind of just say like, well, screw you, Microsoft. We don't really need that. But in this case, the GPU and RAM situation is worse, because the only thing we have to do is really wait it out until all the dust settles. But when will that dust settle? Well, it's just very unclear at this moment. So unless you feel like giving up some organs and kidneys on the black market, you really have to be content with what your rig has got right now and the specs that you have. Because I can just guarantee you that older GPUs and RAMs are going up in price as well due to the demand. So it's not just high-end components at this case, it's an across-the-board rise in prices, and it is just crazy. Also, this will probably cause a delay in any new console system, and even things like the Steam machine, because the high demand for RAM and GPUs is just felt across everything right now, that I just feel like these companies will feel the pressure of those demands, and also you will especially feel the pressure of that demand on the consumer end, because they definitely will raise the prices from once they once thought these prices were going to be due to this high demand and high price increase. So honestly, overall, it's really a bad time for gaming. But there is one thing that worries me more than anything as well. And I'm sorry if I'm all doom and gloom on this video, but this is kind of serious shit we're talking about here. Because the one thing that really worries me about the future of gaming is cloud gaming itself. Because you see, yesterday, Nvidia implemented an hour limit, or hour cap for its cloud subscription service GeForce Now. And the hour limit is 100 hours for any person that decides to sign up this year or within the last 12 months. You're going to see this cap limit be implemented on your subscription. And the only ones that won't see this cap limit are the people that are the founding members, which are members that have been around GeForce since 2021. So they will have unlimited playtime, but everyone else will have an 100-hour cap limit. But either way, this change is egregious. And I can hear you saying now, they're charging you for extra playtime, and 100 hours seems like a lot. But I say, these companies see the statistics. They know how many hours subscribers are logging on to their service for, and they wouldn't be implementing these changes if they knew they couldn't make money off of it. That's just how they operate. They see statistics, they see where they can increase prices or increase a service, and they're all for it. Same thing what happened with Microsoft's Game Pass. They increased that as well because they saw that there are a lot of subscribers, and maybe the cap for how many subscribers will be added to the service has maybe reached its peak. So they decided, hey, let's just charge people a little bit more that are already currently subscribed. Same thing with Nvidia right now. They see how many people are using their service, see how many hours they're logging on for, and now they're figuring, hey, like, we could charge them a little bit more for an hourly cap limit. So now that they'll be charging you extra for this, if you go over the cap on your monthly subscription charge, you will also be charged an additional $2.99 for additional hours on the performance plan, and an extra $6 for extra hours on the ultimate plan. And if you have a free membership, or if you just signed up for GeForce free, you'll have to pay them for every hour you go over, and you don't have an hour cap limit. No, it is just every hour you go over in general. By the way, the performance plan also runs you $10 a month, and the ultimate plan costs you $20 a month, and that is a monthly base charge even if you don't go over the limit. So if you go over the limit, you'll be charged more on either plan, depicting on if you went over the 100-hour limit. For ultimate, it'll cost you more than $20, and performance plan, it'll cost you more than $10. But if you go under the 100-hour limit, these hours roll over, but it's only up to 15 hours max that can roll over into next month. So next month will be 115 hours. Whoop-de-doo. That's right, because it's honestly the craziest thing I've ever fucking heard, and I don't care if it's 100 hours, and I don't care if that's a lot to you, but to even put a cap on something you already pay a base price for every month is insane, and goes to show you how far these companies will charge you for everything if they can get away with it. This is why I despise cloud gaming and the cloud gaming future, because you already see what they're trying to do and what they want to do to you as a consumer. They don't want you to own anything, because they don't want you to own the actual game. They don't want you to own anything of the like, and they want to charge you for everything and anything in between, from the actual game itself, for being on long enough for the service, for the hourly limit that you're on the actual game. It's just, this is why I say all these companies are never your friends, and they're never going to be on your side. They aren't doing the right thing. They will nickel and dime you any chance that they get, because they see how much you would depend on their service. And you're seeing it firsthand right now with this cap on how many hours you can play monthly on GeForce Now. Because if you play more than 4 hours a day, well, you better not use the service because you will be charged for that hourly limit. And unless you're a founding member, you're not going to feel this implementation right now. It's just crazy work, honestly. The fact that Nvidia just felt this comfortable enough that they can just charge you whatever they want for an hourly cap limit just goes to show you one thing, and is that these companies will do anything to make you pay more for playing a game. They don't want to charge you less. They don't want you to actually own anything. They don't want to give consumers power to choose what they want you to have. They want you to rely on them to have access to games. They want you to rely on them to have access to play these games, which is why we need to reject cloud gaming as much as possible, because that is the future that they want you to have, and that is something that I do not want to partake in. We already have to pay for the licenses, and we already have to pay for a digital copy of this game, which is not even paying for the copy of the game itself, but an actual code for the game. And even then, we are seeing gaming companies that take these games off the digital storefronts and that take these games off online servers, making them completely worthless, and the consumers are the ones that really pay for it in the end, because that means that their product is inherently worthless, and you pay top dollar, aka $60 and up, for this service that might be taken offline one day whenever they decide to push the button. And which is why I always feel bad for the people, and I especially feel bad for people now that are growing up in their teens and early adults, because gaming was great when I was growing into it. Now it's just a mere shell of once it once was. And now corpo greed is the new norm, and more we're seeing these companies that are falling into it and that don't have any shame whatsoever nickel and diming you at any chance they get. And this is why I do not blame anyone for getting into retro gaming and going out and buying retro systems and retro games, which is why I don't blame anyone for any emulation, and any emulation of any console, old or new, and which is why I especially don't blame people for pirating or having piracy on these games, because you see every day what these companies think of you as disposable trash. They do not need you. They need your money. There's a big difference between that. They do not care about you, nor they ever will, because that is what you all are. You are just a number in their system, and you are disposable as soon as that number dries out, and as soon as that wallet of yours dries out as well. They do not care about your well-being. They do not care if you make it to next month. They don't care if you make money for ends meet. All they want is their money. And that is it. I mean, that is all I have for you today. Sorry, this one's a little bit more serious, a little bit more doomy and gloomy, but the truth has to be said. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.